I want you to sit back and imagine that you're a college graduate, you just got your software engineering degree, and you're walking into your first day of work. You got your dream job as a game developer, and of all places, Mojang Studios. You've been working as a dev on a couple mods and doing some open source work, so they decide to hire you. You walk into your boss's office. After greeting and having a little bit of chit chat, he tells you that you're going to be working as a tester for this new game they're about to release, while you kind of get up to speed with how things work in the company. The feedback you give is going to be used for future development and may not be implemented by the first drop, but it could be used for later releases. You sit down at your desk and you grab the Xbox controller they gave, and you launch for the first time ever the game Minecraft Legends. Minecraft Legends is kind of an interesting game. I played it live on the day it launched, and I've played it off camera with my best friend a couple times. Honestly, it needs some work. As much as I want to give Mojang the benefit of the doubt, I also think it needs some help. It really does. So hello everybody, this is Negative Light, and we're going to be talking about what we can do to help Minecraft Legends become a better game. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed, and of course, if you want to continue the discussion, put a comment down, as well as pop into one of my live streams if I'm live when you happen to see this. The first and foremost is the controls for Minecraft Legends. The right trigger, left trigger bouncing thing was the first and biggest issue that I had. I personally use a Steam controller, which I know makes me the oddball in the group, but Minecraft Legends has you press the right trigger using the building that you have selected, and then you can drag that around. Okay, that makes sense. So the next logical step would be you release to build your building. Well, no, of course, you can't do that. That makes sense. You have to press the left trigger to confirm and then release the right trigger, which basically makes something that should be basically one action into effectively 3. I don't like that. Even if it was an A to confirm, that would make sense. But the whole left-right trigger bounce thing, I don't like it, and it is so annoyingly cumbersome. My personal suggestion would be to hold the right trigger, you place your building where you want it by pressing A, and then you release the left trigger. There we go, bada bing, bada boom. Not too bad. The second thing was spawning in mobs. Again, I'm using a Steam controller while I play. I don't use the mouse and keyboard, but the mileage is about the same from what I've heard. So it kind of is a two-part problem. First is that the button that you use to spawn mobs on the mob spawners is the same exact button that you use to select mobs when you're building your micro army. Personally, I like the concept that Star Wars Lego 3 or Lego Star Wars 3 used when they were doing their system, where the spawners would go ahead and generate a small army of 10 units that you could select, and the army itself would follow you, and you could select, I believe it was 2 armies in total. I think that's a much better solution to the problem than the selecting 10 units at a time. The other thing is, I would like some way to configure the buildings to automatically spawn or spawn up to 10 units. And maybe even have the units walk a certain distance away from the spawn building. Similar to games like Age of Empires or the Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth. That just seems to make much more sense. The next problem that I had was resource related, mainly due to the piglin spread. The piglin spread, once it starts, can really outpace you. And without a certain exploit, you can't actually stop it in the base game, for the PvP version, of course. They do have a solution in the storyline mode where they kind of have a tower that you can place that'll push that back. I really think that should be added to the PvE, and that's realistically the only solution. Another option would be to have the piglins mine those resources, and they would have like a chest building that when you destroy it, all the resources that the piglin spread has consumed are dropped. That way you can continue to use them. The main reason for this is the next stage of resource gathering problems, which is the problem with coal and redstone and some of the advanced ores. They're way too limited. I personally am of the opinion that most things should be almost infinite. Age of Empires is a good example of using this, where they had a gold in the market system designed solely so you can continuously get all the resources you need in the right ratios. I think this is a good way to go about it, but doesn't really fit the aesthetic of Minecraft Legends. Rather, they should make it to where you have a mine that is possibly upgradable that will mine up these materials over time, similar to how Prismarine auto-generates as well. My big pet peeve, of course, is the coal. Coal is the best resource in the game, and solely because I want a creeper army to destroy the world. Creeper army. There's also the fact that some of these buildings really don't have much of a use outside of the story mode. Now, I have to admit, I have not completed the story mode myself. I've been busy finishing up my master's degree, but my best friend has, and he actually explained why the walls exist and the ramps exist is because they're mostly useful in the story mode. There are some use cases that you could add for the walls in the base game, and you can make an argument that walls are already useful because they can be used to keep piglins out, but a good archery defense grid really doesn't do much. But the ramps, that's a different story. I think they could easily add chasms into the game where they're basically a giant hole that goes maybe not clean across the map, but over some really good areas that you can make a very easy line of attack. And you make it so that you have to place a ramp over them, which creates a choke point, creates so many game elements and strategies just around those chasms that could be incredibly useful. Like most things, still cheesable, but still good. Finally is the pacing. The pacing of the game is really weird. It's, you know, you would normally expect like an Age of Empires or something. It's relatively linear until you start getting kind of towards the end, and then it starts accelerating. With Minecraft Legends, it's kind of flat and then it's done. Like it's really not that smooth. I really think they need to smooth out the pacing, focus less on the resource gathering stage, and possibly make a way to automate it to some degree. So to go back to our analogy, you're the up-and-coming game developer. You grab your composition book with all the notes that we've mentioned here, from updating out the controls, to some missing elements in PvP, to even the game's pacing. You walk into your boss's office, give in your suggestions, hoping that they will shape Minecraft Legends to be a more enjoyable and balanced game that can possibly ride out the next 100 years. But we don't know what happens next. That's a story for another day and future updates to Minecraft Legends. Without further ado, this has been Negative Light, signing out, and God bless y'all. Make sure to check out my next video where we talk about an exploit that me and my best friend found in Minecraft Legends.